everyone, welcome to a very special program. We are at the Serum Institute of India here in Pune. This is where Covishield is manufactured at a rate of production which is absolutely incredible. Adar Poonawalla with us. What are you going to show us over here, Adar?
Nice to have you here, Vishnu. This is one of the production facilities where Covishield is being manufactured. So let's go in and have a look.
All right, let's take a look. We've got footgear on, you've got headgear on. Well, we're inside the final area where this Covishield is labeled, it's put in boxes and it's distributed. And this is where the beginning of the end of the process, which ultimately results in people being administered the vaccine, starts out. And it's an interesting process. We've got Adar Poonawalla with us. So this is what you'd actually been waiting for such a long time, to see this happening, to see these being shipped out.
Yes, Vishnu, this is the final product. As we've been discussing the quality and how it's filled and packed, this is the final stage where it's being labeled over here on this automated line. And now it's going to be put in these boxes, packaged with cold dogs and cold packs, maintain the temperature. And then it will be dispatched out in refrigerated bags.
And this is interesting, isn't it? I mean, this is where in these trays you've got one tiny batch. You keep talking about batches, right? And then it's going to be boxed as well.
Yes.
And this could end up anywhere in the world.
Yes, you know, we've got supplies going out in the next 2 to 3 weeks to almost, I think, about 30 countries.
Right.
You know, by the end of January, early February. We've just delayed that to ensure that the country in India, our country, gets all the priority and enough vaccines. And as soon as that, as you know, the rollout is imminent now. The trucks have already left their premises now, and so it's all working out on time.
I just want to hold this up to camera once again, because there is so much interest in this one tiny vial, right? And this is what it's all about. This is what India has been waiting for, right? Each of these has, what, 10 doses, right?
That's right.
Each of these has 10 doses.
So you can inoculate 10 people, 10 patients. The only point here is that, you know, once you open the vial, you have to use it up in 3 to 4 hours.
Right.
Because of hygiene and puncturing the vial and keeping it open. Because if you have a look over here, once you get rid of this seal, you have a rubber top. When a needle penetrates that, it leaves a tiny gap. So that gap could result in contamination if you leave it open. You know,
so 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours is generally more than enough time. I mean, the way the vaccine is going to be used, within half an hour or 1 hour, you're probably going to consume 10 doses in a vial. So
let's talk about numbers, because I think that's one of the most fascinating parts of Serum. You know, this is a process that's going on constantly. It's been going on for several hours. It'll keep going on perhaps for months. But the scale is incredible, right? 5,000 doses every minute.
Yes.
Right? 5,000 doses of Covishield. How do you manage that? Every minute.
All those large production lines, which are automated now, can produce and fill 500 vials per minute. And since there are 10 doses in a vial, you get an output of 5,000. Now, we've got 3 shifts working around the clock to do that. And that's why we can get those numbers out. Of course, the next challenge is storing so much of that material, which you'll have a look at also, and dispatching it. Those are now the challenges ahead of us.
You know, there's one thing we haven't spoken about, and that's so important. This is just a normal air-conditioned facility we are in. And had it been some of the other drugs, it wouldn't have been like this. It would have been much more difficult. It's easy to handle this.
Absolutely. You know, that's one of the reasons why we have partnered with some of the firms that we have, AstraZeneca, Novavax, Oxford, all of these, because the vaccine can be stored and handled in +2 to 8. if this was one of the other facilities where you have to handle and keep the vaccine in minus 20 or minus 70 temperatures, super cold temperatures, that would have been very, very difficult. And that does slow down the production a lot as well.
I just want to ask you about what we were discussing earlier, numbers and the scale. Compared to, say, the United States, what you have over here is many times as much. And it's all ready and it's done, right? On a daily basis almost.
Yes, so I mean, we dispatched about 11 million doses in a day, to roll out in India at the moment, and we'll probably end up supplying 40 to 50 million doses over the next 2 months. The US, I think, has reached that figure over a month and a half.
Yeah.
Something that we're able to do here in 3 to 4 days. So that just shows India's capability in doing so, and there are many other Indian vaccine manufacturers as well that can do that. So it's a great moment for India to be able to handle this at scale.
The numbers required in India are obviously huge, but given the pace of manufacture over here, even if you export, the supply to India will not be affected, will it?
Absolutely right. In fact, we've explained that to the government and reassured the Indian public as well that the India supplies will not be at the cost of exports. There'll be plenty of vaccine to go around for everybody.
All right. Let's just move to this last area. This is what's being shipped out, right? All across India.
This is what we have, a box of 50. So you've got 10 vials here in each of these smaller boxes.
Yeah.
And
there are instructions as well, which I noticed were being put into each of these boxes. What are those instructions? I mean, is there anything extraordinary?
Directions to use. It also sort of guides people on what could happen, what could be the possible reactions. You should be aware. So you've got this in different languages. You've got a lot of the data from the clinical trial results also on the efficacy. So there's actually a lot of information here for people who want to know, how it should be stored, used, even for patients. And as you can see, there's all different languages here because it's going to go to so many different countries. So here, if you look at recommendations for use in pregnant women or women who have just delivered children, and other guidelines. So it's almost like an FAQ and so many other things that a lot of people want to know. But, it's all available ready in one place.
Right.
And this will go out with every vial. So everybody knows what they're getting into, and there's as much information out there as possible.
I must ask you, given this rate of manufacture, why can't we buy it as opposed to waiting for the government to supply it to us?
That's a very good question. The government has decided to first immunize all the healthcare workers, people with medical conditions, the elderly, the most vulnerable.
30 crores.
And as soon as that is done in a month or two, hopefully less than that, they will give us the permissions to go ahead and offer it for private hospital sales in private markets.
1,000 rupees, right?
Yes, that's going to be the MRP. Of course, we'll probably get about half of that because the rest goes into the distribution chain.
1,000 a single dose, right? So 2,000 for the entire course.
Yes. But again, as I said, if we wait for 2.5 to 3 months, we get an efficacy of more than 80%. Even that is explained in this leaflet.
How does that work?
Well, because all vaccines, as you know, the longer you wait between the first shot and the second shot and the booster effect, you need to allow your body to recover and not have cross-reactogenicity from the first and the second shot. So that's why we found even in the Oxford trial overseas that there were 2 different efficacy results.
Yes,
if you remember.
exactly.
So you got that also publicly stated from Pascal, the CEO of AstraZeneca, who said that if you wait for at least 2.5 to 3 months after the first dose, the efficacy is more than 80%.
But right now it's going to be 28 days between doses, right?
No. The recommendation is 4 to 12 weeks. So depending on what you're comfortable with, some people, if they're traveling abroad or have other plans, they may want to take the second shot, be done with it and move on. We're leaving that choice to the...
No, but this is interesting because the government is looking at 28 days, right? For the 30 crores.
No.
They're not.
No.
Oh.
They will go by the guidelines in the packaging insert and what we have explained to them, and it's optional. So
The minimum is 28 days.
yes, the minimum is 28.
The minimum is 28 days, and the optimum now
Optimum,
is
yes,
what?
correct.
Is 3 months?
Yes.
3 months.
Yes.
And if the second dose was delivered at 3 months, you could see upwards of 80% efficacy.
Absolutely, and that's proven in the
In fact,
clinical
upwards of
trial.
90%.
No, 80%.
Upwards of 80%.
And as the final data with more patients comes in, maybe that figure can be revised, going toward 90 and above. But we're very confident in saying it's more than 80% if you wait for 3 months.
Right. For a lot of people wondering, when they eventually get around to buying this drug, how would that happen? They go to the chemist, pick it up, go to the doctor and get it injected, or you can't do that, right?
No, so I'll explain that. We're using the private sector, corporates, private hospitals, and other avenues like that, where, for example, a large corporate could buy using their CSR funds or whatever, vaccines for not only their employees, but also for the family members.
Right.
So, you're covering a large amount there. Then you've got private hospitals in other areas. And other avenues. There'll be NGOs and other organizations. And of course, eventually, after March or April, it'll be available in every chemist and retail chain. So you could just walk into a shop, buy it, or you go to your doctor and they have, the tie-ups with the stockists and all, so you get the vaccines that way.
This is another facility that we are in right now, Adar. What is this? What are we going to see here?
So this is the bulk manufacturing that we're doing at scale. The COVID-19 vaccine, Covishield, at the moment is being manufactured here, and then will be filled and labeled as you saw, or you will see. Right over here, you can see all the automated machinery that is come from a company, in fact, called Bioseen from India. You have different companies providing all these automated.
So this is the Indian components over here as well in terms of the
yes.
machinery.
Then you've got going over there. If you go in the back, that's a German brand. So you've got a mix of European and Indian machinery here, and you can see all the people here are fully gowned. We can't unfortunately enter there,
right?
But you can get a good idea of what's happening here,
right? I wanted to ask you about costs because after the first 100 million doses, you expect some sort of renegotiation, right? How's that?
We decided in the time of the pandemic to support the government. In fact, the 200 rupee price we've offered is actually substantially below the figures that we wanted to offer as a pricing in terms of cost, because the costing will change as economies of scale pick up.
Right.
At the moment, the cost is upwards of 300 rupees. We've given this as a very special price to the government so that we can roll it out early and make sure all the vulnerable people are protected.
Right.
And we'll make up our profits and returns on the capital investments and OPEX later on when we enter into the private market.
So that's where you would get your ultimate profit margin from. So the private market is important, and your exports.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And would you get into any renegotiation potentially with the government after the first 100 million doses?
Well, I think it's not about negotiation. We've just offered a very reasonable price, and as long as it's the lowest globally, that's being offered $3 to $4, something in that ballpark range, I'm sure it's going to be okay, and they have the budgets to do it. So, it's all looking smooth sailing from here on.
Right. And you believe that all of the vaccines which come into India need to be broadly similarly priced. There is a principal equity here. That can't really be, right? If Pfizer comes here, they cannot sell at 200 rupees.
Well, I hope not, because, it's only from the angle of, and I don't want to comment on, other companies and what they should do.
Right.
But the only point here is that we'd be able to vaccinate that many more people and have the coverage going up. Obviously, if the prices are lower, based on the budgets that we have and the huge population that we need to cover, That's all I will say, and that's obvious. So
Yeah.
I hope that the manufacturers and foreign manufacturers can lower their prices for countries like India, which have a huge disease burden in terms of in the population to cover, and also that will help the budgets for our country.
Yeah. Let's talk about Novavax a little bit now. Nasal, right?
No,
it's
that's
not
not
nasal. What's the nasal one?
Codagenix.
And that's also something you're looking at, right?
That will be licensed in a year, because that's starting phase 1 trials in the UK at the end of this month. The Novavax product is is a protein-based subunit protein vaccine, and with a very powerful adjuvant, which will also give a good long-term response. And we have plans of scaling that up by May, June of this year and launching it, in the next 6 months.
So you have bridging trials on as well about
Yes.
that. That's not started yet.
No, that will start in India in the next month or two.
And how big would those trials be?
Again, similar size to what we did for the Oxford AstraZeneca product, because they're doing very large phase 3 studies overseas. We will do efficacy studies for some of our Indian indigenously developed vaccines later on, like the RBD one also, which we've got in partnership with the.
So how many do you have now?
4 in total. We're not going to take on any more, because then we've got our hands full already.
So when would you know
vaccines,
efficacy of Novavax? When?
End of January, early February. That's when they're unblinding the global trials, so within a month from today. And as I said, based on that, we'll do a bridging study, and we'll be ready in May, June of this year with a licensed product.
And how much would that cost?
Oh, that's going to probably be double the price of the Oxford AstraZeneca product. We're going to export that to the higher income countries, because this Oxford product will take care of the lower income countries and split it that way.
And it'll be available in India as well?
We'll see if it is, and if it's required to be available, because we don't need to launch multiple vaccines in India. We need to cover different parts of the globe, and if the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has got a high efficacy and working well, we probably don't need to launch that one in India right now, maybe in a year's time.
What about the other two? The nasal one was Codagenix, was interesting. We've spoken about it earlier.
It's interesting because it's a live attenuated vaccine.
It's easy to administer.
Yes, nasal again is very easy to administer, and will be probably a one-shot vaccine with a very long-term immune response that we feel that it'll have, because all the live attenuated vaccines are generally more powerful in terms of getting an immune response.
And when did you say end of the year, right?
Yeah, I would say first quarter 2022
Right.
is when that's the last vaccine that we're going to license.
Right. So that's the last. Novavax is after this one, Covishield,
and then
what's in between?
quarter 3 is what we're expecting, the RBD candidate, which is based on the hepatitis B protein, which has the COVID-19.
Where's that being developed?
That is, in partnership with Spy Biotech. It's a spin-off group of the Oxford scientists,
I see.
and we're doing that in partnership with them.
And again, would that be potentially sold in India?
Yes, again, possibly if required, because we've got so much capacity of the Oxford AstraZeneca one. It probably wouldn't make sense to launch multiple vaccines in India. This would again help other parts of the world, and this vaccine could be launched in India for the younger population.
Okay.
Because this vaccine would probably be the safest one to also give under 18. Going all the way down to the age of 4. So that's what we're planning to do with this one. So yes, it'll have a unique advantage. Not to say that the Oxford AstraZeneca can't be given to children and young adults, but we still have to do the trials for that to see that it's safe to give it to.
And how much would this cost?
Again, this would be also reasonable.
Do we have a name for it? No. As yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
It's still under development, so we'll assign a brand name for it soon.
And this will be in the same ballpark as this. All right. So exciting times. 4 vaccines. One is already out, and it's great, isn't it? 16th is the date. You've been waiting for this for a long time. Is that when you're going to get your shot as well, or how is it going to work for you?
Well, I'll post my picture of my shot and video very soon. We were just waiting for the appropriate protocols to be followed. So maybe tomorrow or the day after.
All right. Tomorrow or day after, that's when Adar gets his dose. But It's going to be out, distributed across the country sooner than later on the 16th onwards. And this brings a great deal of hope. 2020 has been disastrous for people all around the world. Hopefully that sense of hope in 2021 will mean more people will have their lives saved.